So today I'm just going to do a short and sweet update on my Godot for Vertex Painter. A couple of people have been messaging me about it, asking for updates, and so I just gave it a refresh. So the UI is a little different now, and I've updated some stuff. So here's a quick rundown. Basically, you'll go to the asset lib, type in Vertex Painter, and look for Godot for Vertex Painter. When you click that, you can hit download, and then when you go to bring it into your add-ons folder, there shouldn't be any conflicts, so it should just all download and go in here straight away. Once that's done, you can go project settings, and then just check Vertex Painter. So the new update of this add-on, it now lives here in this panel, and there's a couple of kind of smart things built in. So like if you try to start painting and you don't have a mesh instance 3D selected, it will tell you must select the mesh instance 3D to vertex paint. If you're not in the 3D viewport, it's not going to try to vertex paint. And if you click anywhere outside the 3D viewport, it's also smart enough now to not try to vertex paint. So those were a couple bugs that I really cranked through and fixed in this version. So basically all you do is you enable it, right? So hit the enable button here. We're going to select this mesh. And then you pick a color like red, and then yeah, you're basically good to go. You can vertex paint. I'm going to go through a couple different model types. In this type, I just have a cube, and so I'm going to show you like there is a couple of weird things you got to consider when you're vertex painting. So this cube, it has all hard edges, which means that the normal vectors at each corner are actually split. So if you try to set the brush size to 1, which means you're just going to try to paint one vertex, you can't really control what vertex it paints. So for example, like right here at this interface, there's actually 3 vertices because they all have different normals. If you increase this brush size to 3, then you should be able to paint the whole corner. It doesn't work perfectly, but I've been working on a lot of stuff, and I think it's good enough for now. So you can paint like that, change the color, no problem. That all works pretty well. So let's go ahead and change the model out. I'm going to swap this out for, let's use a big plane. In Blender, make sure that your objects have scale applied. So this is something I still haven't worked around yet, but when you want to vertex paint in Godot, make sure your scale is applied here. And so I'm just going to hit export, and then we click on this one, and then we can go ahead and vertex paint. Basically, once you start to click into it, it'll acknowledge that a mesh instance 3D was clicked, and then you can vertex paint on it. So this is a larger model, so we can increase the brush size. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. This hopefully works pretty well now. Let's look at another model. Let's drop in a Suzanne here, a monkey. So there's a couple things. This doesn't necessarily work too well, and I'll show you what the limitations are. All right, so we have the Suzanne head in here. If you try to click on it, and if you try to paint, let's reduce this to 3. It doesn't always work. It's not really going where it should. I don't know exactly why this is. There is some ways to make this work a lot better though. So the first thing is if you shade the whole thing smooth, then really what you've done is you've reduced the number of vertices that the engine is trying to figure out where to paint. And then the other thing you can do is just scale it up a good amount, and then we'll apply all of those transforms, and then let's export again. So once you scale up, once you shade it smooth, it works better. So now it's actually, plausible to paint it. And with the brush size set to 3, you're going to actually be able to paint. Now, Suzanne has a flat face here in the ear. So it does struggle to find the flat faces. So you might have to kind of pan around a bit to be able to actually paint that in. But I think it is serviceable once you scale it and once you shade everything smooth. It works okay. But these types of models that have, a lot of like interior faces, it's basically the algorithm is just struggling to find what vertexes you actually want to paint. If a programmer wants to help me work on this plugin, I'm more than happy to have people on board. The algorithm I'm using is just kind of an ad hoc one. And like I said before, the brush size is just literally how many vertices are you going to be painting. The algorithm is going to find the nearest vertex to what you clicked, and then it finds the nearest, in this case, the nearest 3 vertices, and then paints them with that color. So it's really not that complicated. It works okay. I would say if you're going to use this for if you're going to have a shader or something that pulls from the vertex color and it doesn't need to be super accurate, I think this is a great little tool for that purpose. I never really do this, but also feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you like this, if you use the add-on, and if it helped you in any way, yeah, please hit the subscribe button, and that helps me kind of make more content and know that I'm in the right direction.